So I was requested to do a tutorial with our quick cooker for chicken and dumplings. I've not made that. There's not one for the quick cooker, so we're just gonna wing it. I looked up some things. I'm just kind of mashing together some recipes and thoughts and ideas, and let's just see what happens. It's the real life. Um, First thing I need to do is I need to soften up some onions. So I'm going to drop in 2 tablespoons of butter. And this calls for some chopped onions. I'm using my spoon knife. I'm cutting that. And I'm just going to quarter these. And get the skins off. And then I'm going to use my favorite product. If you've watched any of my other videos before, the best way, quickest, easiest way to chop and prep just about anything, especially onions, is in our manual food processor. So, got my blade already in there. Drop in my onion quarters. The lid sits right at the top. I'm just gonna chop this down to the consistency that I'm looking for. And our quick cooker, it's several different settings that you can do. It's real good one pot recipes. Alright, I'm good with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sear and press start because I want to melt this butter down and kind of soften up my onions. So, and our sear function literally takes off like a rocket. Like it's going to be pretty darn quick. I love using the large mixing scrape because it's very heat resistant. It has a long enough handle to where I can get down in here. So I'm just melting my butter. I'm going to go ahead because, like I said, it's the sear function heats this thing up fast. I'm going to go ahead and dump my onions in. And I'm just going to set this over here because that'll go in the dishwasher. This should just take just a few minutes. This calls for chopped celery. I don't have any celery. I just have some seasoned, some celery seeds. I'm going to just throw a little bit over in there. This calls for peeled carrots. I did not have, but I did have a bag of frozen peas and carrots. Some people don't even put any veggies. We like veggies, so I'm going to throw in a bag of this in a second. 2 cups of chicken broth. I was out of chicken broth, but guess what almost all households have? Ramen noodles. So I pulled a packet of the chicken seasoning and dissolved it in 2 cups of warm water. And that's going to be my chicken broth. This calls for 1 pound of chicken breast, cubed, about 1-inch cubes. So I've got these over here. We're going to cut those up right here on the mat. So again, we just need to soften those down. And I already did a video of the dumplings because this is a quick way to do it. If you have some canned biscuits, you just use 5 biscuits and cut them like each biscuit into 8 pieces for later in the recipe. But I actually didn't have biscuits, so I just made a quick dumpling recipe, and I've already got those ready for later. And you're going to need a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. If you don't have whipping cream, but you got a can of cream of mushroom soup or cream of chicken, basically it's just to get that creaminess in there later on. All right. So we're about 3 minutes into the sear function. You don't preheat it or anything. I just dump my butter and onions in here and put it on sear and start. And it's coming on into it here. So air quick cooker is cool to the touch. You can tell I'm touching this. As long as you don't touch the metal, the stainless steel insert, um, you're good to go. But this is one of the safety features of air quick cooker is cool to the touch. It's sturdy. It's got rubber feet. The handles are literally on the bottom away from the steam. It's got a 30-day money back guarantee. It's got a warranty. And that's just a few of the things that sets us apart from big box store version of this. There's has 16 settings. If you like to cook beans or rice, you don't have to pre-soak your beans. The rice doesn't come out mushy or sticky. It actually does what it's supposed to do. Something else has that a lot doesn't. You've heard me mention this before. It proofs dough. So basically, you put your ingredients for your dough. It rises it, proofs it, and then after all that's done, you just take it out and brown it in your oven. It's all you do. All right, so our onions are softening down in that 2 tablespoons of butter. And I did not have to run out to the store. I have found there's so many recipes that you can just do with stuff that's probably already in your pantry. So I'm gonna hit cancel. That took about 5 minutes just to get that sear function going, melt my butter and soften my onions. So I'm just gonna hit cancel so it stops that searing process. You want to stop that a little sooner than you want because it's still hot, obviously. As soon as you hit cancel, it's not just going to automatically just quit being hot. All right, so now we're going to put in our broth. And I'm going to cube up. I'm just using about 3 chicken breasts. For October, you've heard me mention, for October, the quick cooker was 60% off as a host special. Of course, you can order at any time. Consultants, if you're a consultant, you're able to order it at a deep, deep discount under our supply. You can always earn it with orders if you just want to do a catalog show, or all of my parties I've done are virtual on Facebook. But I also do catalog parties. That's fine too. I'm game for an in-home party. If you want me to come cook with you, we'll come up with something and do it. So I'm just cubing up 3 chicken breasts. It calls for about a pound of chicken. If you don't have chicken breasts, use I love chicken thighs. They're super cheap. You can use those too. It's darker, richer meat, but That's fine. I just happen to have a bag of one of my staple things I keep in the freezer is frozen chicken breast. And I'm using my favorite knife as usual. Our knives have a lifetime warranty. They're balanced. All right, so my chicken is going in. And like I said, I do not have celery. You have to be careful with celery. It can actually get a little overpowering. So I'm just going to put a little bit of celery seed. I don't know, maybe like a quarter teaspoon maybe, just to kick it up. And like I said, I do not have any carrots, but I did have, if you want to add vegetables, you want to go ahead and do that now. But I did have a bag of just peas and carrots. That's going in. I need about, I don't know, half a teaspoon. Landon's out there. They went down to the field. Somebody drove down the field. I think it was Landon and Thomas. All right, so there's our salt. So we got everything going on in there. I'm just going to give it a slight stir. And since my chicken is not frozen, I can do this even quicker. So I'm going to put this over on chicken and poultry. And I'm going to sit this for 5 minutes. So I'm just going to hit my time. I'm going to run it down to 5 minutes. My lid is going on. And I'm going to hit start. And I'm going to pause this, be back in a few minutes to show you the rest of it. Okay, so this is cooked for 5 minutes. And everything is done. The chicken's done. Everything is good to go. You can see that. Now I'm going to go back to my sear setting because I want to bring this up to a boil so I can add in my heavy whipping cream and my dumplings. The dumplings are in a different video. I didn't have any just canned biscuits to cut up to use, so I made dumplings from dough, and that's what I'm going to use. But first, I got to get everything back to a good boil. So as the dough dumplings drop in, they go ahead and cook up and fluff up. Now, when you have this on a sear setting, you don't walk away, don't leave it because it does cook fast. So I'm just waiting just a couple minutes for this to come back up. And if you want to look up the homemade dumpling recipe, it's here. But basically, it's a cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of sugar, a half a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of butter, and a half a cup of milk. And that makes plenty of dumplings for this recipe, I think. This base that I have here, just up to this point, if you wanted to drop in your ramen noodles that you pulled the season pack out of, you could put it up to sear and drop those over in there. If you just wanted chicken noodle soup, this would be good for that. But we're going to add the heavy, a half a cup of heavy whipping cream to make it true chicken and dumplings. This smells good. I'm just going to go ahead and measure out my half a cup of heavy whipping cream. And again, I have never made this before. Let me put this back in the fridge for me. I am winging it just from a random recipe of chicken and dumplings and just kind of tweaked it with the settings and the timing because the quick cooker comes with its own quick cook guide and all that. Just wait for it to come back up to a boil. Oh, you know what would help? If you put it on sear and hit start. Ah, real life. Landon's making fun of me. Yeah, literally, this should have already happened. But I forgot to push the button. You have to be smarter than that. What's my hair today? It's crazy. Sunday fun day. Just cooking and having fun in the kitchen. My friend and teammate on my favorite chef team is who requested this video with this recipe. I love requests. It's fun. I can come up with stuff all day long, but I want to know what you guys want to see. And, if you have a particular, see, it's already boiling, but that literally took like less than a minute. If it's a particular recipe or kitchen tool that we have that you want to see in action or know more about, let me know and I'll demo it. I want this to get to a good rolling boil because, when you drop your dumplings in and they start with that moisture, they're going to get tacky, sticky. So, and I don't want them bumping together and sticking. So I want them to like start cooking as soon as they hit. I'm going to do a test one. And if your broth is boiling good enough, it'll immediately like start cooking and puffing. What I want to do with just where it's got the stock in there is get my dumplings pretty much cooked. And then I'll add my heavy cream in to kind of thicken everything up. Also, the thickening agent just from the flour that's on your dumplings, or if you had biscuits, that helps too. I'm gonna start dropping these babies in there. They're starting to puff. It's Levi. Is that who you want to know who's barking? Now you want to keep this stirred because sear on this is no joke. And you don't want it to stick. That heat element is directly under that pot. So you want to keep them pushed around in there. So I just kind of drop a dumpling and just push through a little bit. Yeah, poofing. Oh, and I might have too many dumplings. It's just dough. I mean, if you really want to eat raw dough, it's just dough. I mean, it's just dough. Landon wants to just eat a dumpling, a raw dumpling. I mean, it's just dough, honey. What's a jerky? This is tomato. And these are puffing up so nice. Chicken and the dough is just flour, baking powder, sugar, salt, butter, and milk. It's just a basic bread dough. No, you're not going to eat all my dumplings. I said I might have to. Oh, they're so pretty and plump. Mm-hmm. This child is eating raw dumpling. Well, I mean, it's not gonna hurt you, but I'm just thinking, ew. All right, these are coming up pretty perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding in my heavy cream. I want this to start thickening up. Frida, thank you for the suggestion because this is looking pretty darn tasty. All right, I'm getting it. There's my last two dumplings, except for the ones Landon is eating. Ew. So I'm just stirring these around. We'll let this bubble for a second. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit cancel because I want that sear function to stop and start cooling down because I got a good boil going in here. I don't want to scorch my cream. I don't want to burn anything to the bottom. Now I'm just gonna dip out just a little sample so you can see what this looks like, y'all. This is pretty yummy looking. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can see it, but it looks amazing. I put veggies in there, and the dumplings are small, so they didn't overpower. See about that size? Can you see them? So I think I got a good ratio in there, and that's it. It's all done. It's ready. And I mean, that took no time at all. So thanks, guys. Thanks for the suggestion, Frida. And we're really going to enjoy our chicken and dumplings.